Hey, everybody's Perch. Let's talk about the all-new X Factor, and this is part of the From the Ashes uh, imprint, presentation, marketing campaign. I don't know, whatever. The Tom Brevoort era of the X-Men, which, let me just say the thing that people don't say directly enough. The challenge with the X-Men is that it is a cash cow for Marvel historically. If you think about the 80s, the 90s, this was a popular book. And then you've had, brief moments, brief windows where the Avengers and other comics have kind of come into the picture, but they don't tend to last long. And when I say long, I'm talking in the kind of 10 years or more type time frame. But the X-Men has been there, and it's one of those, in theory, bankable IPs that has been neglected. It was neglected because for a while the movie rights weren't held by Disney and Marvel, and then they got it back, and then they were trying to do some different things with it. And then I think there was a big misunderstanding of what the X-Men had to be. Like, people got ahead of themselves and said, well, the X-Men have to be bigger than life. Comic books that are not just basic superhero books, but have a deeper message. And I think that is inherently the trap, because you need to make good stories first and then message second. But if you do them in the opposite order, it gets all turned around. But anyway, um, in the all new, all different Tom Brevoort From the Ashes, I keep saying asses, which is that's a very different imprint. Imagine the X-Men From the Asses, and then it's just like gay books. Sorry, that's probably inappropriate, but anyway, I actually don't know what would that be? What would you call that imprint? I'm not sure. Anyway, From the Ashes, which is kind of hard to say, we get the new, all different X Factor, which is not that different, but also not recognizing what made it work. So, headline: X Factor joins the new X-Men line this summer as a team. Okay, brace yourself. Of government-sanctioned mutant influencers. Fuck, fuck, like Jesus H Christ. All right, here we go. Angel and Havoc are leading a team of mutant influencers this summer. You just pray to God this is, Games Radar / whatever was left of Newsarama, the bleeding carcass of that site, being a little, let's say free spirited with the press release. And this isn't actually how Marvel is going to try and build this comic. Like, you really hope to God Tom Brevoort wasn't fishing to get somebody to say, hey, we want to do a comic. We'll pitch us a comic about mutant influencers or also government operatives. Oh, God damn it. Nobody with any self-respect would go for that pitch. Anyway, this comic is written by Mark Russell. And it says Marvel is kicking off another wave of reveals of the new X-Men titles with the announcement of X Factor, which revives one of the first X-Men spin-off titles from the 80s, and that's Louise Simonson's X Factor, and 90s, which is Peter David, with a roster that calls back to that same era. We technically mean eras, but yeah, who's counting? Grammar, am I right? Written by Mark Russell with art from Bob Quinn. The new X Factor features Angel and Havoc as the team's leaders, with Angel having served part of the original X Factor team and Havoc having served the leader of the team's second incarnation. They'll be joined by Pyro, Frenzy, and Feral, with more mutants planned to join up as the title goes on for the 6 issues before it is canceled. Sorry, I added that last part. This is too mean. I mean, look, God bless you, Mark Russell and Marvel and X Factor and everything else. I loved X Factor. I loved both incarnations you just referenced. I loved the Louise Simonson, Walt Simonson book. That was really goddamn amazing. I thought you did some really cool stuff there. I like the Peter David. Joe Quesada was on that for a period of time. Larry Stroman. Those are some great comics too. I have fond memories of those things. So you remember when Havoc got sent into a multiverse Portal was part of the Mutant X. Like, this was a weird spinoff of a spinoff that went on for, like, fuck, how long did Mutant X go for? Like 40 issues? It was a long ass time. That was how comics used to be, folks. Anyway, um, I have fond memories of those titles, so God bless you if you're going to try to recreate that. But let's see what we got. But Pyro, Frenzy, and Feral, I mean, Feral, like Morrow, is one of those, like, they're character and Maggot. They're characters that people think they like from the 90s, but nobody actually likes these characters. So those are characters that people pick when you're trying to prove that you are a hardcore X-Men fan. You're like, I was a big fan of Maggot. Which, like, oh, it's a relatively unknown X-Man. Why didn't you? You know, it's like douchebags who in the 70s and 80s would say that Banshee was their favorite X-Man. Like, yeah, I get that, Sean Cassidy is a favorite X-Man, but, he was in a handful of issues and just shoved fuck off of that shit. Anyway, all right, so we go on. It says, but rather than simply being another mutant superhero team, yeah, God forbid, the new X Factor will be a government-sanctioned task force with the goal of fighting for mutant rights within the system while also operating as mutant influencers of a sort. What? Fuck this shit. Fame, fortune, mutants. From the ashes of Krakoa, a new mutant arms race sweeps the globe. International governments are building their own mutant armies, reads Marvel's official solicitation of X Factor #1. But only America's X Factor has the most powerful, most patriotic, most marketable mutant heroes. So stem the tide and make the world safe for democracy. Join them as they go from one death-defying mission to another. Who will die? Who will fall in love? And who will be the first to sell out? Like, comment, and subscribe to find out. Fuck you, Marvel. Fuck you. I'm not in the mood. Whether they believe in their actions or are doing it just for a check, the members of X Factor are no fools when it comes to shady politics. As hidden agendas rear their ugly head, they'll fight against dark consequences and disastrous public opinion from the inside. Mutant sellouts or mutant role models, you decide. You be the judge. Yeah, no thank you. All right, let's hear from Mark Russell. He says, the thing I've always loved about the X-Men is that they're characters first and superheroes second, states writer Mark Russell. So being able to write characters like Havoc and Angel and Frenzy in a post-Krakoa reality is an opportunity to write about what I really care about, which is how do we help each other to survive the apathy of the world we live in. Fuck you. Sorry. I'm just kidding. It's comics and what the hell? Why not? But does anybody believe this shit anymore? Like, Mark Russell, are you just a hollowed out shell of a human being who believes any of this shit? Or are you just vomiting out? Like, did you get Chat GPT to write this? Because that's what it feels like. Anyway, I don't know. Like, here's poor artist Quinn. It's so excited to be back and drawing mutants in the X-Men universe again, and doubly exciting to work with Mark again, Quinn states. To my mind, Mark's mix of humor and modern society... his mix of humor and ability to shine a light on the peculiarities of modern society make him the perfect writer to tackle the relaunch of X Factor. Drawing this team an unexpected twist and turn of the story has been a blast so far, and I can't wait for reader to get this. August 14th, his book's coming out. Okay. And then there will be a Wolverine title, which will have Greg Capullo somehow attached to it later this week. Look, I'm just, is anyone, like, can you just put out a goddamn good superhero book? Like, it'd be so refreshing to hear a writer say, hey, I'm writing a book of superheroes, and we're just going to try and make comics you'll like. Do you have anything else to say? No, that's it. We're just going to try and make good comics. That's all we got. I'm looking forward to that. I don't need the mix of mutant influencers and government operatives looking in the dark web for shadowy who will sell out and like who's in it for God damn it. Why? I'm tired. We're all tired. Um, I, I look. Mark Russell is not a bad writer. He's written some interesting stuff. His Flintstones series was decent. He's done other work that is good. But Mark Russell, the guy who is like a corporate vomit machine for a tongue-in-cheek, clever parody of me, this, no, nobody wants this. Absolutely nobody. It's exhausting, and it, you know, it, oh well, whatever. Look, let's hope this is a good comic. I mean, I've done some videos lately where I've said that, I was wrong. I said a comic sounded shitty and I enjoyed the comic. Mark Russell does some interesting tongue-in-cheek stuff. There may be some interesting stuff here. I hope so. Mark, I'm rooting for you. I truly, on the bottom of my heart, am. I'm rooting for any comic to be good. But why does it feel like we're in the Matrix and we're like somebody has not put enough, you just haven't got enough processor speed to properly get, intelligent NPCs to write this shit. It just feels like tired AI ideas. Tom Brevoort's bringing back the relaunch of the X-Men and all this other shit. Please, I'm begging you. Can we have something that feels like a good original comic? Please, I'm begging you. This isn't right. What you like? This is just you're fucking around, and we're doing a thing that kind of sounds like editor's wet dream. Because what's going to happen is a lot of you are going to do videos. A lot of people are going to do little commentaries about how shitty this sounds. And you're going to forget, or you're going to leave out the part where an editor likely said, "Hey, Mark Russell, we think you'd be perfect for a book that's a tongue-in-cheek, kind of dark, cynical view of what it means to be an influencer. Like, you remember that X-Statix book? I hear it's cool. We'd like you to do something kind of like that, but it's also X Factor, so we want you to tie together the original and the second version, but we want to have like influencers because we hear that's popular in 2019. And, can you do that kind of stuff for us?" And Mark Russell's like, "I'd like to get paid, and this is what you got." Anyway, here we go. Here comes Perch Chill Mode. "Hey, there's an exciting new book from Marvel coming out. Can you believe the X-Men universe is expanding?" It is. It's expanding with X Factor, a book that's going to tie the old and the new and the medium new together in an exciting new book, which is going to take contemporary politics and modern society and mix it with superhero action. I hope you'll enjoy this new exciting book as the X-Men go into the brave new world of From the Ashes from Tom Brevoort. Fuck off. Thanks for listening.